our very first presentation is by LaMar Queen, and LaMar is like the rap god of mathematics. He's an 8th grade math teacher out in South Central LA, and he's also the co-founder of Music Notes Online, which is actually a really cool website. I've gone to it, and you can search for all different kinds of rap videos by topic, by grade, and I'm anxious to see what he has to present for us this morning. And actually, just a heads up, LaMar is actually on his way to work. And so we're gonna make sure that he gets to go here first, and we hope that you have a great day after you share with us your knowledge about rap. So with that said, LaMar, we're gonna turn the screen over to you, and you're gonna be able to tell us all about your rap videos. So welcome to Voices, and what a great way to kick us off.
All right, thank you all so much. Can you all hear me?
Yep, you sound great.
All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. I went ahead and opened up my webcam so I can present and have my face on screen too for those that actually want to see what I look like.
Yeah, you look like the videos. Your hair's a little longer though.
Yeah, a little more hair, but as you can see, I'm already at work, so I'll be presenting here from my classroom. And let me minimize this. And I want to open up just by thanking you all for having me. I'm excited to be here. Early day here on the West Coast. And I'll pretty much just be sharing some strategies that I use with my students, things that I share with teachers as I go out and present at different conferences, at different PDs, to help teachers get familiar with using music in the classroom, more specifically using hip hop with their students. And so with this being a 20-minute talk, this will be my expedited version of what I typically do. So is it okay to go ahead and jump into it? I know we have 2 minutes before I'm supposed to begin.
I think you're fabulous. I think you're ready to roll, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Okay, cool. So let's get rolling. So Music Notes is my company that I started with a fellow teacher, and I just want to open up with a quick segment that a digital company named Parent Code did, highlighting some of the work my team and I do, just to give you a little background before I jump into what we'll be discussing.
How do we spinning our heads off and getting excited about these guys that are rapping about school, doing your homework, getting good grades? Like, that still blows my mind. Literally 2 weeks into my career, man, my students started calling me boring. They said that if I didn't rap for them, they were not gonna listen. And they had like a few reasons why they wanted me to rap. They said, 1, you're boring. 2, you look like Kanye West. I said, stop. I look better than Kanye. All right. And then 3, we're not gonna listen to you and let you rap. So after a few weeks of them just begging and begging, I realized they were dying. I was dying, and I decided, you know what, let me just try this out. Let me write a song for them. Let's talk about soap intercept. I don't mind if you interject, just don't disrespect. You say you got a question for me? Yes. What's what? That was the first time I think they really, really had a memorable and an enjoyable experience in class. And when it got to the very end, they all just exploded in applause, laughter, and I can still hear it to this day, the joy they had just based off the fact that 1, I listened to them, and 2, it was actually like a good song.
So my kids thought I was boring. They said I look like Kanye. I said, all right, after the shortest honeymoon phase, I think ever in the history of teaching, I decided to give it a shot and just try to write a song for them. So it changed everything. And what I've learned through that process is that relationships and listening to students are huge. And so I'm going to talk about that along with how to get students a deeper knowledge, a deeper understanding of math using hip hop songs, hip hop math songs, and also, how to build relationships with students using pop culture, and to just take them to a deeper level of understanding using media and things that they pretty much enjoy on a daily basis. So we're gonna jump into a few objectives for this morning. I wanna talk about hip hop, why it's so popular with our students, how we're gonna use it with our students. Hopefully you all will leave with strategies that you can use as soon as you get back to school. Learn why music in general is effective, introduction to our team and our work, the reason why we do what we do, and understanding of hip hop pedagogy. So first thing we have to do is connect with our students. We want to create a positive culture in our classroom. I don't know if you can see in the back of my class, I have a little sign up there that says, love one another. That's just front and center in my class because teaching middle school, students have this weird thing where if you're not like them, you get a lot of jokes and catch a short end of the stick. So I try to make sure that positive classroom culture is established from jump. We're gonna love one another, we're gonna respect each other. And a lot of things I use are music, try to make sure we take learning out beyond the walls. We'll talk about that as we get further into the presentation. Daily brain teasers that have nothing to do sometimes with the content, build a positive culture where the students that might not necessarily engage with math at a high level can do some cognitively high tasks and feel successful in my class, even though they might not necessarily feel successful when we're doing math stuff. So I like to incorporate those, get kids up teaching lessons, short mini lessons, maybe that cover prerequisite skills before we jump into the meat of our topics, build a student council into the classroom where those leaders, give me suggestions. I actually had my first meeting last week with some students and implement some of the things that they say they want to see in class, show that their opinions are valued, and then also student jobs, just give kids the things to do so they're not off task. A lot of this is, common knowledge for us teachers, but just wanted to kind of reinforce those, reiterate them for us that may have forgot about one or two of them. All right, now we're gonna jump into some quotes about music so that we can put a framework around everything we'll be discussing. We have some pretty, successful, famous people in our history that I think we would all agree are well respected. So there's some things they had to say about music. Beethoven, he says that music is the electrical soil in which our spirit lives, thinks, and invents. A lot of times we listen to music in our car, we listen at home, cleaning up, we listen to music, working out, but then when we get into a classroom, we won't play music because we think it doesn't fit the status quo of a traditional classroom. And this is a huge mistake. Our spirit lives, thinks, and invents because of music. We're supposed to be at creative highs in a classroom. So if we incorporate music, it just gets the left and right brain activated. Dopamine gets flowing, serotonin levels increase, and we can engage in concepts that, we might not be able to without music, or we might not be as inclined to without music. Next thing, Bob Marley says, one good thing about music is that when it hits you, you feel no pain. Now, unfortunately, I teach the class where students have the most trauma ever in the history of schooling, math. A high percentage of people do not enjoy math, and it's unfortunate. But Bob Marley says, good thing about music, when it hits you, you feel no pain. So if you have students coming from a background where they've been seeing little success in a math class, playing music can lower that affective filter, allow for us to teach students that have had bad experiences with teachers, with particular topics, if we incorporate it effectively. Next, we have Nietzsche. Psychologist said, without music, life would be a mistake. So if life is a mistake without music, I believe it's safe to conclude that school is a mistake without music. Even if you're not playing educational rap, if you're playing classical music, if you're playing, world music from different parts of the country, or the world, I should say, this will help build that culture and get students active in the learning experience and relieve stress in the process. Lastly, we got the king of pop. To live is to be musical, starting with the blood dancing in your veins. Everything living has a rhythm. So we walk with a rhythm, talk with a cadence, we have a heartbeat. Everything we do has a rhythm. So it's only right that we bring some of these ideas into the classroom. Now we're gonna look at why specifically hip hop. Now I focus on hip hop, one, because my students asked me to, and two, hip hop has recently been deemed the most influential genre of music in the history of the world. It passed rock and roll. Royal Society of Open Science concluded that hip hop is the most influential genre, and they did a case study from songs from the 60s up to 2010, where they analyzed every piece of music, and they saw the change since hip hop came to be, and how music kind of adapted, all genres kind of adapted a certain style of hip hop. And this is why the students asked me to rap my first year. This is why, hip hop music is everywhere, commercials, TV, things like that. So we understand that this is our youth culture. No color lines when it comes to hip hop. We can use this tool to teach our students, but like I said, it has to be done effectively. This study that Open Society did was cool to me, but I decided I'm gonna take it a little further, do my own case study to make sure I trust the scientists, but I wanted to do my own case study. So I just kind of looked at Billboard, top 100 songs of 2017, and 15 out of the top 20 songs are all hip hop influenced. I said, whoa, maybe they were right with their study. Decided to, since I was doing this presentation, let's just check out this month alone and see if the trend is continuing in 2018. And there actually was an increase where 16 out of the top 20 songs are all hip hop influenced or by hip hop artists. And so the numbers don't lie. Royal Society Open Science was correct. Hip hop is the most influential genre. We're gonna look at a little more data. Grammys. The past year, the Grammys had the most hip hop albums for the Album of the Year nomination ever. 4 out of the 5 albums were hip hop albums. And last but not least, we know like Billboard, sometimes record labels pay for their artists to get on their Grammys. Same thing. So Spotify, a streaming service, the People's Choice, has 4 out of 5, 80% of the top downloads, top streams are hip hop influenced. Let's go back to last year. We had 100% at the end of the year of the songs were hip hop influenced. So that just gives you a little background, a little framework, just in case you didn't quite believe that hip hop was the #1 culture yet, those numbers show you. Now, these are the pillars of hip hop, and here's how to use them. So first one is rap. We got DJing, graffiti art, and breakdancing. So these are the 4 original pillars of hip hop. And what I want to do now is show how we can take each one of these elements and incorporate them into a classroom. I'll be talking specifically about math concepts, but they're applicable to any content area, any subject area. So first, let's look at breakdancing, and what it is. It's a form of dancing. Everybody's seen it. Dancers spin around on their heads, do all type of crazy things. Crazy Legs get the credit for this work. And it's gotten so popular that, look, we even got breakdancing kitties. I became a huge fan of cats as I've gotten older, so you're gonna see a couple of these, forgive me. So now, how can we incorporate something such as like breakdance or dancing in a classroom? How do we use it? Well, as a math teacher, we have to teach functions. And one of the things I like to do, well, I don't teach algebra this year, but when I teach algebra, I'll incorporate all of these moves when we need to learn formulas and understand how functions look, relate them to graphs, things like that. And if you look at the last one, you see that last one? That was me when I was in school trying to figure this stuff out. But so now that's dancing for math class, but in general, TPR, total physical response, if you incorporate that into any classroom, it's been proven that movement associated with learning helps retain information a lot more. So this is how you can incorporate this idea of dancing into a classroom. Next, let's check out graffiti art. Graffiti art, also known as street art, began in the 20s, 30s, boomed in the 70s and 80s. Buildings, walls, train, cars. It was originally a response to the socio-political environment. So groups of people, disenfranchised members of communities, felt their voices weren't being heard. So what did they do? They took to the streets, put their messages up on walls, buildings, and this is how they were heard. We can bring this idea into classrooms as well. But before we do, we got one more cat picture. Hey, graffiti cat. Now, In a math class, one of the ideas that I like to do, and this, like I said, can work across the board. When we're doing classwork, when we're doing activities, I'll assign students a set of problems, and then we'll go outside. So we have to take learning beyond the walls, keep students engaged. So we'll do a thing where we'll go outside. Every student is assigned a problem. They get a piece of chalk. We can either go on the blacktop, handball course, wherever we want, with permission from admin. And every student has to work out the problem they were assigned outside, sign their name, show all their work. We'll have one specific student, maybe two, that have been given a problem that is done incorrectly. And now you have another classroom that can come out, analyze the work, and it becomes like an error analysis problem that works across classrooms. We're getting students outside, we're collaborating with other teachers, we have students analyzing each other's work. And so we've taken this idea of graffiti art, now we brought it to a classroom, and we have students engaging in one of the pillars of hip hop through math work. All right, let's take a look at DJing. Now DJing, a lot of people don't understand that DJing is a performance. And I'm a YouTube DJ, commercials and all when I have parties, but DJ Kool Herc, he gets credit for getting hip hop rolling because he threw an epic party about 40 so years ago in New York, where hip hop was born. And so DJing is important in the culture of hip hop. We got another kitty cat, DJing cat. And how do we use DJing in a classroom? Well, what I like to do is create playlists. And so every day of the week, we'll have a different type of song, or I'll just play it like, you know, as I'm feeling inspired during class. Monday will be Motivation Monday. Students are tired after the weekend, probably broke their sleeping pattern, staying up late, so got to keep them motivated, play positive, uplifting songs on Monday. Tuesday, we'll do classical music, classical tunes Tuesday. The kids hate it, but I still do it. So every Tuesday, we'll do it like some classical music. On Wednesday, Way Out Wednesday, this is where I can play, or you can play songs from across the country, across the world, Caribbean music, music from Europe, Asia, Africa, just to get them introduced to sounds of the world. Thursday, Throwback Thursday, you can play songs that have to do with that you grew up listening to, that your parents played growing up, Saturday morning while they're cooking breakfast. Just those songs to introduce students to things from music from back in the day. And then lastly, Freestyle Friday, my favorite of them all, because this is where I get students rapping. We'll have instrumentals playing in class. We can have students recap the lesson. Students will get up, they'll rap about what we learned for the week, what they're doing for the weekend. Just a break from the norm on Friday to kind of loosen things up before the weekend comes and give students something to look forward to during the week. I kind of use that as a carrot to hang over their head as we're working through the week. And lastly, rap. So rap is the most popular form of hip hop. We got DJ Kool Herc, Sugar Hill Gang, Run DMC. They all have very strong presence in the rap culture because they got it started. Sugar Hill Gang, first song to play on the radio. Run DMC took us worldwide when they collaborated with Aerosmith. Jamaica and New York get a lot of credit for this part of rap culture, hip hop culture. So how can we use rap? Well, if you find a song on YouTube, one of my songs, there are a bunch of teachers that use and write standards-based songs. We can take our students to a deeper level of understanding by taking the lyrics and introducing them to a close reading activity, which is actually an ELA concept. But if we bring this into a math class, we could take students from like depth of knowledge 1 to 4 through a song that they already enjoy, an academic song that they already like. They're gonna analyze lyrics, and then they're gonna answer a set of questions that you come up with based on the lyrics. And so this example that I have up is an integer song that I wrote. And this is actually the unit that we're wrapping up at the end of this week, where you come up with a set of questions that you would like to focus on. So if you want students to just know exactly what an integer is, you present the question, what is an integer? And then you'll have a, let me grab a copy of it. We'll have this Think Right shared document where they work with a partner. So they'll answer the question, they look directly in the text. What is an integer? They find it, write the answer, discuss with their partner. Hopefully they have conflicting answers so we can have students justifying why they think a particular answer works. And then they use the sentence starter that is provided to them. So you come up with however many questions you want as a teacher, provide the sentence starters. The students have to go through this text 2 times. So on the first one, the students are provided with sentence starters. Depth of knowledge questions should be around 1 or 2. You also need to create a second set of questions that are level 3 and 4, where students are not provided with sentence starters, and the questions are implied in the text. The answers are implied, not directly stated in the text. And so this is how you can take rap, this is how you can take rap and create a lesson around it that engages students in academic discourse. It helps them get comfortable with like analyzing text, justifying their answer, and it brings in this ELA strategy. And so this here was my crash course on hip hop pedagogy. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you want to learn a little bit more about how to use music in the classroom, I actually have a couple of documents that I can send over, or a slideshow that ties into what I presented as well. Go ahead and reach out to me. It's my website, phone number, email, and my social media. So please feel free to reach out, use me as a resource. And I just want to thank you all for your time. And if there's any questions from anyone, please feel free to plug away in the chat.
Hey, LaMar,
Yes.
I just want to say, I wish you were my math teacher.
You know what? I do too. I have a few great math teachers that really helped me along the way. So I want to thank them for inspiring me to do this.
I think this sounds like a great project. And later on in the show, I don't know if you know the math people from Westerville South, but they're also going to be on, and I think you guys might like to talk to each other a little bit.
Definitely, because I've been trying to find them for years. I watched their videos, showed them in my class, and when I went to the school website, I didn't know who was who to reach out to. So
the guy, yeah, Dave Schultz is going to be on later this afternoon, and I will make sure that you two get hooked up, because I think you guys could maybe do like a cross-country competition there. That sounds like a good rap way. I do have a question for you. First of all, I actually did not know that hip hop had those 4 components, which I think is very interesting, and I think you do a great job of trying to get each of those in your classroom. And I'm curious to know, do you, there's actually a lot of science and math about rap. And I'm curious to know, with your movement, that I think it actually has something to it with respect to just like an ordinary song. I would assume you would think the same thing, which is why you use it, not just because it's popular.
Definitely. I like providing balance in my life and in my students' life, and songs they listen to, the content is all normally way above their age and what they should be listening to, and so I try to keep it, make my songs aesthetically pleasing so that they'll have me in their playlist along with whoever else they're listening to that might not have a positive message as well. So definitely.
Well, I am certain they will remember you.
I hope so. That's the plan. I'm hoping, in a few years they'll say, I learned math because, what the Music Notes team is doing.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. That was such a great way to get us started off today. And make sure to send us a video of your kids. So,
I will. Will do.
We would love to see it. And we hope that you have a fabulous day at school. We know that your homeroom is going to start here any second. So
I got about 30 minutes before the babies get here.
Well, thank you so much. That was a great opening to Voices. And I'll get you hooked up with Dave Schultz later today.
Okay, thanks so much. And then I can watch this later on, right? I can watch it later.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, cool. You all have a great day.
Thanks, LaMar.
All right, thank you.